So we are here to be inspired, and I've been inspired by something that you said about how you have all of the pieces and you're just like trying to put it together, and it just so perfectly fits into the conversation we were having on my Inspire Hour this morning about vision boards. And that's exactly what a vision board is. You have all of the pieces and then you put it together to tell a story. So I think if you're looking at, a vision statement or, a definition, or you're trying to write something in the narrative, sometimes when you're looking at the narrative and thinking about, okay, how do I write this? You're thinking vocabulary, you're thinking grammar, you're thinking, does this sound right? You're thinking, is it marketing ish enough, right? But when you're just thinking of ideas, they're raw and real. So, like when you asked me the question, what I thought, I just gave you words. So,
Right.
if you start from the pieces and you have your words, you have your statements, you have your what do we want people to say? What do we want people to get out of it, right? And then you like, even if you do them on stickies or, when you actually like have all your thoughts, chances are like it'll start to create that story that you're looking for.
That's awesome.
And sometimes, like, I have a hard time starting from the story. I need the bits and pieces. So then, um, it makes more sense. And I think sometimes, like, then I go back and it's like, wait, I think I'm missing something. Because you were so focused on like getting that last thought just right. So a lot of times, like when I'm writing something, I have a lot of thoughts at once, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's good. I'm going to use that." But then after I spend so much time on other things, I'm like, "Crap! I know I had something else." So if you're, like making note of those things, and then you've got your, and then you've got your narrative, and then you go back and you're like, okay, did we talk about this? Yes, get rid of that one. Did we talk? Oh, we didn't actually use this word. Do we want, like, is this word important to us, and do we want it included? Where would that fit, right? Um, so it sort of gives you like a place to start, and it gives you like the checks and balances at the end to say, hey, did we include everything we wanted to?
That's good. Yeah, I like it. Just to and to know that it's important for us to have those things, for us to have those kind of mile markers that people can say, yes, this is what OPWP is all about, and so that it can be repeated and understood easily. So I think that that's a big thing is understanding because most of our members, it's a feeling that they get, when they achieve something. It's a feeling that they get when someone is there for them. It's a feeling that they get, so how do you describe that feeling? How do you describe that it's, like write the check for the feeling, like
Yeah.
how so I think that, like, is it a you need to experience it first, or are we assuming that you need to experience it and you really don't, so it's really um finding exactly what, like, specific needs we meet so that more people will come, you know
Mm-hmm. And I think too, one of the things that I guess is hard to sort of quantify or describe, but I think it's really like inspiration, is like that's what I get a lot of times.
Mhm.
Like someone will, even like the simple thing of like, one day it was like, oh, how was your hour? And it was like, oh, well, I fed the dogs. And Stephanie was like, oh my God, I didn't feed my dogs today. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, because you're not just stuck in your bubble where like you're limited. It's
Mhm.
like once we all get together, it's like the space is so much bigger. So there are things that, you know, like you wouldn't think of just because that's not where your mind goes. But we're
Yeah.
all different thinkers and we all have different experience. So it's like when something comes up, everyone's able to share, right?
Yeah.
So even this morning when we were talking about vision boards, I was talking about how I was at this workshop a few years ago and I did 3 different ones. It was like past, present, future. And
Mhm.
past was like what's happened in your past to get you to this point. Present is who am I? So it was like, you know, very personal. And Beck was sharing that like she does one where sort of like the who am I is in the center of it. And then
Mhm.
everything goes around it. And it's like, ooh, like maybe I should try that next time, right? And
Yeah.
it's just like hearing how other people do things. Um,
Yeah.
so like I feel like that's a big thing that I get to. Um, and it's sort of like that whole idea of like a think tank, right? Like your
Mhm.
tank's only going to be so big, but when everybody else puts their thoughts in, then it's like,
Gross.
oh, look at us, full tank.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally. I like the word expand and add and space. So I wrote those down in the chat. Like expand your bubble, but not bubble.
Right.
Something else. Expand
It's
something.
sort of like expanding, I don't know what the word is, but it's like, um, I don't know. I'll think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Please do. It's
Okay.
awesome.